package concerns me. It came with a whip. Please explain in what scenario is a whip necessary when you get a fragrance? Now I know I have this persona about me being all kinky and what. Ooh, my left nipple got hard. But why does a fragrance need a whole whip though? Today's video is sponsored by City Rhythm and they sent over a fragrance for me to check out as far as first impressions. I wasn't aware that it came with accessories, but best believe I'm probably gonna get this used on me tonight. Let's roll my music so we can unpackage what fragrance they sent over that needed a whip.
Sexy motherfucker. Cubaknow. We're all alone. In case you cared, out of all your friends, I want to be Cuba.
Blessed morning, my beautiful peoples. You know who it is. It's your boy, C to the U to the B to the A. No matter if the fragrance is sent to me, you already know what time it is. City Rhythm is a fragrance brand that's been getting a little bit of notoriety across my Instagram. I even mentioned in the last video that somebody mentioned City Rhythm St. John as being their shocking compliment getter. So maybe that's this. Let's open it up. So here's how the presentation came, wrapped all nicely in a box with a whip. I mean, I'm gonna keep this whip right here because this just adds some character, doesn't it? City Rhythm Miami Tropical Confessions. Written by Usher. Miami and whip definitely go hand in. Oh, this is erotic. Look at the little advertisement. She's got her tongue out and shit. All right, let's put the whip down. So, City Rhythm by Niles. Let's check this joint out. Here's a side presentation right there with the little stamping. I've always liked these little wax stamping things. I actually have a wax stamp. So let's open up the presentation. I do like to open it on camera, but I will drop the here we go. City Rhythm Miami Tropical Confessions. City Rhythm captures the spirit of the iconic cities in our line with the care and veneration. Bro, I can't read. What is that? Befitting these unique pieces in their proud and hip. You were using like AI technology to write this. Who uses veneration? That's not even a word.
Move the dummy now.
So here's what the City Rhythm Miami Tropical Confessions bottle looks like. It has like a little mountain peak under it. Might be a nipple, who knows? But this is what the fragrance is about. Now let's look up some notes before we smell it. Now I have the original City Rhythms Miami. Now I'm gonna re-smell this joint because I don't remember it right off a rip. And I wanna see if these two seem repetitive, redundant, or if it still has that Miami style energy. I don't recall. I didn't think it spoke too much Miami to me, but let's see. Oh no, it does. A little bit more coconut, lime, citrus, little vibrancy, but a lot more deeper and richer than I would kind of give Miami credit for. Like if you want a fragrance to really smell like Miami, it's gotta be like wrapped in cocaine, construction, and Ferraris and Bentleys off in every corner down Miami Beach. I don't know why, the original Miami's smelling a little bit better, a little bit more vibrant than I remember. Yeah, let's see what that Tropical Confessions be like. So the notes in Tropical Confessions are coconut milk, hibiscus nectar, Tahitian lime, jasmine, white rum, magnolia, vanilla, orchid, tonka bean, myrrh, and sandalwood. I mean, it doesn't sound bad at all, but let's see if it's redundant, if it smells like Miami, and if it requires a whip. Oh, it's definitely not like the other one at all. Definitely getting a more boozier aspect from this scent profile. It is a little bit light on the paper though, I'm not gonna lie. Definitely have to test it out on skin a little bit more, but there is something here that's popping, a little bit more distinctive maybe. I don't like the performance that it's doing on paper, and usually paper is not the best interpretation, but we'll see. So it's very nectar forward with vanilla creaminess on this joint. Now, I don't know if it screams Miami Tropical Confessions, but there is a little bit of a kink factor in this scent profile, and I'm not necessarily mad at it. It's got this gorgeous citric creaminess about it that's very smooth and subtle, and not really in your face with screaming like synthetic energy, but there's this creamy lotion-ish type scent profile that is not redundant, actually not even present at all in the original Miami. So you have two completely separate scent profiles. The smell of the color red, if that makes sense, like that's what I'm getting. There's something sweet, nectarish, creamy, but there's also the smell of red, which I guess goes hand to hand with a red whip. There's more than what those notes are speaking off of my skin. For me, it's gonna be somewhere in that combination of that nectar note. The creaminess is coming from the coconut / vanilla, and then that reddish note has to be some sort of fusion with that combination of the sandalwood listed in the notes. There's something very erotic about this scent profile, so I'm kind of getting the assimilation between the whip and this scent. It's erotic. There's something sexy about it. There's Red Room-ish type vibes. Tie me up, gag ball beat, executioner style, walk me like a puppy, slap on some pleather and crank the AC to like 110 degrees. So you just feels like you're sticking to grandma's couch back in 87. Now this isn't a projection or performance beast off of my skin. Most fragrances definitely struggle off of my skin. This has to be like a at least 5 sprayer, but there is something very seductive but slightly cold weather vibe for me off of my skin. It doesn't scream the Miami temperature, which I think it screams more like LA or New York in the early fall, like September, October. I'm getting that type of energy off of it. Let's let it dry down for a little bit more and see what type of energy I'm getting off of it, because there is something very seductive about this joint, but I can't get over the fact that it smells like the color red. There's a close encounter factor off of this scent that makes you have that cuddle factor, that let me get close and give you a hug, let me find an excuse to give her a hug just so she can smell this particular area. Although this has a lot of unisex qualities, so there is no problem a young lady wearing this scent profile. It's actually very nice. I'm glad that they used Miami and Miami Tropical Confessions and really separated them completely from each other. Yet, I feel the original has more of a Miami-esque type vibe, not full-blown what my mental speaks of Miami. This one just screams like, let's bone. So definitely makes sense why the whip is in there. It has a very sexy, creamy, seductive vibe. It's quite intriguing actually. It doesn't smell synthetic or harsh or cheap, which is definitely a plus. And I think that they did a very nice job on this scent profile. If there is any con, is that it doesn't project or perform crazily off my skin, but it might be as a singular spray. That could be the factor as well, as I'm not layering it on top of myself. But I have to give this a full wear to really give it a true interpretation of its performance. So far, I think the scent is very sexy. It has a seductive quality to it. It has this alluring sex appeal, sex dungeon-esque type vibe. So for me, it's definitely a ball sprayer. Well done. Listen, I can see why the brand is getting that little bit of notoriety going up. Like, there isn't shitty, cheap quality in here, and it isn't repetitive or clone-ish type scent profiles. So if you're gonna come out independently, oh, it's got the paper. So satisfying. If you're gonna come out independently and just come out with your own personality, then I appreciate this being unique and sexy in its own right. So yeah, ball sprayer. Let me spray this. Excuse me. Still a little light, even in the ball spray. It's gonna have to be like a 5 sprayer. Let me just do something real quick. That's 3 sprays now. 1 dry, 2 fresh. Let me see what type of, we're getting more of an air bubble, but it's still not a powerhouse scent profile. I could just tell. My professional bloodhound nose can just tell, but I could also tell that I'm horny. I love y'all mother suckers from the heart. I'll put a link in the description. Shout out to City Rhythm sponsoring today's video. And if you tried any other City Rhythm fragrances, which one would you recommend in the comments below? I'll see y'all just next time. You know who it is, biggest in the game. Smooches.
Fly gun holder, money folder, Motorola start tack when it's time to call back. For the rough, rugged, and raw way, this nigga Jay, it's a game, but he don't play. Hey, for all the chicks that got dead in the penthouse suite on top of my mom's crib. It's nonsense you never get in. It's nonsense that you would think that you would